What's up, folks? David here, TexasHornsFans.com. We got Texas squeezing out another close win, 17-13 over West Virginia. Definitely stay alive in the Big 12, but we'll talk about it here, talk about some things that really stood out to me. Definitely leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought about the game. And don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe and share it out. All right, so overall, I like to kind of start with kind of a high-level thoughts of the game. Overall, it was a pretty frustrating game for me. I think it was just another example of Texas showing that it just can't put together a complete game, where the defense absolutely looked improved. They stepped up. The offense struggled. And it just seems to me that if it was the other way around, it would be, if the offense was playing great, the defense would be struggling. So, but hey, a win is a win over a pretty decent West Virginia team. West Virginia came in with the same record, 2 losses, losing to Oklahoma State, but also losing to Texas Tech. But this West Virginia team was coming off of a win over Kansas State. So, kind of one of those middle-of-the-road teams that is good enough to beat you. But, again, we saw another close game. It just seems that no matter who Texas plays, it's going to be a close game, right? So, but a lot of things stood out to me in this game. I think we saw a lot of improvements in the defense stepping up. DeMarvion Overshone had a fantastic game at linebacker, made impact plays. On the offensive side of the ball, Bijan Robinson got the start again. He looked amazing. He really kind of bookended the game. He starts the game off, first play, with a 54-yard run. He ends the game with like a 35-yard catch to get a first down and put the game away. So he looked great. Sticking with him, in the first half, Robinson had 5 carries, and of course with that 54-yard run was averaging 15.4 yards per carry, but only got the ball 5 times. Even if you erased that 54-yard run, he was still averaging around, I think, 4.6 yards per carry. So why didn't he get the ball more in the first half? Who knows? Thought the offensive line overall looked a lot better. I thought their run blocking improved. The pass blocking, for the most part, was really good. Sam had time. And I think they did a great job of letting Bijan hit an open hole and then make the defenders miss. And he has improved a lot in his timing and his willingness to sort of explode at the right time. And that's exactly what you want from your running back. You want the offensive line to allow the running back to get through the line of scrimmage, hopefully untouched, and then let him beat the second and third line of defense. Let him beat a linebacker or a safety one-on-one. He had some fantastic runs. That one run in the first half where he did the spin move, he did, kind of a stab, a juke, and then a stiff arm, and then another stiff arm on the sidelines. That was awesome to see. And that shows just the natural athletic talent. When you can spin like that, do a stab, just kind of where he stabs his leg into the ground, makes the guy miss one-on-one, does another stiff arm, that shows agility, it shows speed, it shows balance, and it shows strength. So that none of the other running backs have as that much of a complete package. Roschon Johnson might be a better downhill tough runner. Keontae Ingram might have better balance in traffic. but I don't think either of those guys have a complete package, what we saw from Bijan Saturday. Even that even that one run with that last stiff arm, if you watch that play, he forced the defender to grab his face mask because that's all the guy had. He was almost about to fall on his back, and the defender was just reaching for something. So that stiff arm essentially added 15 yards to the run. So in my opinion, Bijan kind of forced that stiff arm. So that was awesome to see. So yes, hopefully I'm now fully in the camp, and I know most of you are too, that he needs to be the number one back, and we got to find ways to get him the ball more, and the kid can catch too. Okay, this is a multi-dimensional offensive weapon. This isn't just a runner. He can catch the ball, and he can make things happen in the open field without a doubt. So we got to see him get the ball more. And I think going into the bye week, getting him some more reps in practice, some more reps and time, hopefully with the number one offense, and then going against Kansas is going to be a good 2-week stretch, for him to just get more time, more comfort, get his timing down with the blocking schemes. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Texas uses Bijan in these final 3 conference games. Going back to the defensive side of the ball, I mentioned Overshone. He had a fantastic game. I think he had like 8 tackles, 1 or 2 tackles for loss, and he had that great sack on a 3rd and goal play where he timed his blitz perfectly, coming in down the middle. I believe it was the center and the guard were occupied blocking, and he just Overshone just came in free and sacked the quarterback. So he timed it perfectly. He made sure he didn't lose control of his body making the tackle, and it was just a great play. So he has really stepped up and proven, I think, to be a great blitzer, especially in the middle. He was one of the impact players on the final play against Oklahoma State. If you go back and watch that play, it was Joseph Osai who got the sack, but Overshone did a great job of blitzing in the middle, and I think really forcing Spencer Sanders out to the left, out of the pocket, and then Osai comes up and cleans it up with the sack. But Overshone did a great job of I think forcing him out of the pocket. So he's really stepped up a lot, and I hope we see more blitzes. I think the defensive line their play has improved, controlling the line of scrimmage, especially against the run. Really shut down Chuba Hubbard against Oklahoma State. So hopefully we see more of that. Especially coming up against Iowa State in a few weeks. They've got a great running back in Hall. So hopefully we see more of that, and then hopefully we see Chris Ash trusting the defensive line to control the line of scrimmage so that he can blitz more, especially in critical situations, because these guys have shown that they can blitz. I think Juwan Mitchell has improved his pursuit angles. I think he still really struggles with recognizing the pass and defending the pass in the middle, but he's been great against the run. He's fantastic at the line of scrimmage. He really brings. He's a hard-nosed tackler, especially in the middle. And then, I think Chris Adamora has stepped up and improved at defensive back. I think the DBs are still having trouble getting their head around, and it's hard to know how they're being coached up on that in different situations. Deshaun Jameson got mossed. He was actually on You Got Mossed, where him and I forget the receiver's name, they go up at the same time. I think Jameson timed it a little off, but the receiver kind of jumps up and basically takes the ball away. Kind of like payback for what Jameson did last year, if you remember that fantastic interception that he made one-on-one, where he's kind of diving back, grabbing the ball, and just taking the ball away. the opposite kind of happened. Saturday. But overall, a great job by the defense, though. Only allowing 13 points, and really not allowing a touchdown for 3.5 quarters. Texas opens up the game with a touchdown, a pass to Eagles, and then West Virginia comes down and scores at 7-7, just like that, and it just kind of looks like, is this going to be the type of game that we see? But the defense did a great job the rest of the game. 3.5 quarters without a touchdown, and came up with big impact plays. Ajomo had a sack, so that was cool to see. Just 4 penalties on Saturday, I think, for about 45 yards. But even one of those penalties was a late hit on the quarterback, or hitting the quarterback low. And I think that might have been Ojomo as well, but he was kind of blocked into the quarterback. He did obviously reach, for the leg and did knock the quarterback down, but that was kind of an iffy call. But a huge improvement in the number of penalties, especially from the Oklahoma State game. If I remember right, the Oklahoma State game, there was about 140 yards of penalties, which to me equals about 10 points, right? If you're going to allow a football field and a half of penalty yardage, that's worth about 7 to 10 points on the board to me. But so improvement there, but nice to see them at least step up and not allow West Virginia to kind of take control. Sam struggled again, I think, at times in the game. We've heard that he's been kind of dealing with some injuries, whether it's an elbow or ribs. He doesn't look right. He just doesn't. He looked good at the end of the Oklahoma State game, but he just doesn't look like he's lost zip on a lot of his passes. He is off on a lot of downfield go routes where he has to kind of drop the ball, in with the receivers. Some of the receivers dropped some balls. There was one play where I think Eagles was looking back into the sun and he just missed the ball. So there were times where Sam didn't get a lot of help from his receivers, but there were also times where Sam's throw was just off. There was a really short pass, I think, to Jake Smith in the middle at one time that was like right at his feet, and I think it was a 3rd down pass. But then, Sam will turn around and he hit Jake Smith on a 33-yard touchdown. He's, I think the last couple games, he's right at about 50% completion, so that's definitely dropped off. But he has over 20 touchdowns on the year, so I think the quarterback draw, especially in the middle, or at least when Sam needed to tuck the ball and just run straight, that was open all day. There was even a 3rd down play, I think it was 3rd and 2, right in the red zone, where he easily could have just tucked the ball in and ran for the touchdown. But for some reason, he tries to go for more yards, and it's an incomplete pass, and we kick a field goal. But I think that was wide open, and he took it at times. There were plenty of times where he just tucked it and ran for a good amount of yardage. So that's pretty much the main points I had. Special teams was good. Two great punts pinned inside the 5, so that was cool to see. So, overall, I'm definitely feeling a lot more comfortable about the defense. Let me know what you think. Drop your comments below. Offense was struggling, still. Hopefully we see Bijan Robinson not only get the ball more, but just more consistently. Let him build up momentum. Let the offensive line build up momentum. And going up against Kansas in 2 weeks after the bye, a winless Kansas team, that is a prime opportunity to let that happen. I would also like to see us get up significantly in the first half, and let's get Sam on the bench, and let's get Casey Thompson in there for the second half. I would love to see that, but given the way this team plays, I expect a close game against Kansas. Not that Kansas is that good or that they should be anywhere close, but just that's what we're seeing from this team. This team allows the opponent to keep it close. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Kansas game was somewhat close, or if they allowed Kansas to get back in the game. Maybe Texas goes up by 3 touchdowns, but then Kansas scores a couple quick ones. So, I would fully expect that to happen. I think it's a great time for a bye week as we come up with the last 3 games. Kansas back home against Iowa State and going to Manhattan against Kansas State. Definitely not easy, but I think you got to say that that's the easier half of the schedule with Oklahoma and Oklahoma State in the rearview mirror. Fully alive in the Big 12. If Texas just wins out, they're in the Big 12 championship game no matter what. Because if they win out, they hold the tiebreakers over Iowa State, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State, no matter what those teams do. Okay? If Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma and Oklahoma has 3 losses, they're out. But Texas has to win out to at least get a number 2 seed. So they would hold the tiebreakers over those teams. And that's not going to be easy to do. Iowa State's not as good as we thought they would be, but they're still very good. What gives me the most comfort is the improvement of the Texas defense. If we can stop the run against Iowa State and Kansas State, absolutely should take those games. Offense is going to have to improve. They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do to trust Bijan. So, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like, subscribe, leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought. Don't forget to check us out at TexasHornsFans.com. Link in the description. Also on our Facebook page. Also a link in the description. We have over 60,000 fans now on the page. So come join us over there. Join the conversation. It's an awesome group. We'll see you on the next video. Enjoy the bye week. Hook 'em.